It's Jeannine's birthday, so we're singing happy birthday today. We're also celebrating such a birthday by talking about birthday movies, movies with birthdays in them, notable birthdays from movies. It's a very birthday-filled episode today. On Monday Madness, it has to be said, but there's also plenty of other nonsense to talk about as well. Even more stupidity from Warner Brothers and DC, Jeannine. I mean, how is it even possible? But there's more. There's more of it. We're also getting into some of the Pinocchio trailer, live action Pinocchio. There's other stuff to do with Disney as well. The Schmoedown, the movie trivia Schmoedown, had its final taping this past week, which Jeannine was, of course, at, and we're going to get into that as well. It's a celebratory episode, though. A whole bunch of fun stuff, as usual, on the show. Welcome to the madness. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I'm terrible at singing happy birthday, Jeannine.
You're
I do
wonderful.
apologise. I can sing other songs far better than I can sing happy birthday. It always seems to come across like a joke whenever I start to sing happy birthday.
It's perfect.
It's because I can't. It's because I can't sing, Jeannine. I'm not a singer. That's why. I'm a speaker.
It's the thought that counts, so I appreciate it.
It is Jeannine's birthday. So it is very specifically Jeannine's birthday,
It
actually,
is.
as of the day of this airing. So yes, how are you, Jeannine? How was your birthday?
I'm old. My birthday
You're old.
was fun.
I'm old. It's like Jamie Lee Curtis in Freaky Friday.
I like the Crypt Keeper.
Old. Except you're not like the Crypt Keeper, are you? No, you're not.
A little bit.
But we are back with another episode of Monday Madness today. Jeannine, would you like to do the monster truck voice just for birthday fun?
Welcome to another episode of Monday Madness with Morgan and Machine.
Yes, this is what we like. This is what we like.
Yes, that's what you like.
Not embarrassing. Is it embarrassing? I don't think it's embarrassing. It's just it's the Monday Madness monster truck voice, and it's becoming famous. Is it becoming famous?
Is it becoming?
Do people know?
Not.
Possibly. It's becoming famous to us at this point, which I think is all we can hope for.
Yeah.
But yes, hello the machine, hello the Morgan. Yes, that's how Monday Madness likes to begin. Is it time for me to ask the question, though, or do we have any more preamble to get into?
No, I think you can go for it.
Well, sup, birthday girl. Sup.
A lot is sup, Morgan.
Well, yes, I suppose it is. What do you want to talk about first? Should we get the dreadful stuff out of the way with first?
Yeah, let's do that.
We like to do that, don't we?
Every episode, it's some nonsense with the DC universe, so...
I'm just going to have another drink of coffee to wake myself up for all this absurdity.
Yes, this Zaslav guy is really just... fucking shit up.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
So apparently there's going to be like a funeral screening for the Batgirl movie for cast and crew.
Which is the saddest thing you've ever heard, ever.
So they're going to do like a backlot screening for like the people involved before they potentially delete the movie, like erase it so that they can ensure, getting their little IRS kind of benefits from the movie being not making any money. So
which again is the saddest thing ever.
It's really depressing, and they've already wasted so much money in general. I hear their stocks are plummeting because of all the nonsense going on. So just really depressing. People put their time and effort into that movie. Like, just release it on HBO Max or something. you
I
know.
saw one of the cast members has come out and done this whole Twitter thread of um, kind of pleading with Zaslav, or as we're going to call him, Zorboff, which I'm pretty sure we referred to him as Mr. Zorboff the first
Yeah.
time we actually brought him up on the show, when it was brought in
Yeah.
that he was taking over
Yes, I
of
mean, people
DC.
were applauding him for a minute, thinking he had some kind of plan, only
And
for it to
and
be
we were,
revealed.
and we were.
Yeah, I mean, I was hopeful, but I was still was kind of like, I don't think he knows what he's talking about. And sure enough, a bunch of people at Warner Brothers and DC in particular were like, I don't know what this was talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty sloppy.
Yeah. It's very bad. It's very bad. But yes, I did see one of the cast members of Batgirl come out on Twitter, kind of appealing to him, pleading with him almost to kind of not destroy. I mean, they use the word destroy. We are going to showcase Batgirl for cast and crew and special people one time or two times on the Warner Brothers lot, and then it will be destroyed. What is this movie
Yeah,
that we have to use
it's
such
so
language
yes, but it's so
surrounding it?
awful. Yeah.
Destroyed as though it's some sort of frightening, world-ending piece of material. It's a Batgirl movie. Just have it. You don't even need to destroy it. Just, if you're not going to release it, just keep it there. It's not taking up any room, is it?
Yeah.
It's Warner Brothers. What all this space you need to save in the Warner Brothers lot? Oh, I do apologize. It's not big enough
Yeah.
for one little file type of a Batgirl movie.
Yes, it's really frustrating that they're just kind of giving up on this instead of trying to make something happen with it. So I really feel just bad for the cast and everybody involved.
But yeah,
Um,
because everybody's on their side. They want. There's a reason. They're appealing or trying to appeal to him to just not destroy the movie, even if it's not released. I mean, yes, ultimately, I think most people still want it to just be available somewhere. Of course, they do. Um, but even if it's not released, just don't absolutely kill the thing after just
yeah.
one screening, one token screening that just comes off very, very bad. And is just another example of, this new Warner Brothers and DC hierarchy
Yeah.
doing very unusual things, of which there's another aspect to it as well, is apparently they're getting rid of a load of um, non-white showrunners and things like that.
Oh,
Did you see
yeah.
this?
I briefly kind of saw that.
This is some sort of news that uh, a lot of showrunners who are people of color at DC, well, not specifically at DC, at Warner Brothers, at HBO Max. This is that
Mhm.
side of it. Um, are being let go, whereas kind of white people or white showrunners aren't, because Warner Brothers wants to. I read this. I don't know how accurate this is. I couldn't even tell you a source,
Ugh.
but I did see it on. I did see it on a. It was an official kind of Twitter thing. It wasn't just some random thing.
Yeah.
Um, that Warner Brothers wants to appeal to Middle America as opposed to the
Everybody.
as opposed to everybody, as opposed to the, let's call it, quote unquote, left wing. You know, um, you can use the term woke if you want to. That
Mm.
this demographic, we want to appeal to Middle America, and we're just thinking, well, way to cut your audience down
Yes,
significantly
significantly
there.
for sure. Oh gosh, that
Basically, I'm
sounds
just gonna
awful.
I'm just gonna go and continue to watch old Warner Brothers movies, because at this point, I feel Like Warner Brothers in the 30s and the 40s were probably more reputable than they are at
than
the
they are
current
now.
moment.
And just to kind of add to the nonsense with DC is just that they decided to push Aquaman. Well,
They did, and
they
Shazam.
had yeah, so they had a scene of Michael Keaton's Batman appearing in Aquaman, but it didn't make sense
Oh,
because they were now going to put Aquaman before the Flash.
I love it.
So
I love
so
it.
that's why they brought Ben Affleck in to have him just come in and be a Batman.
Oh,
So it would be,
right.
a continuity thing. But now they decided to push Aquaman 2 till December of next year. So now Flash is still coming out before Aquaman 2. So then the Batman thing and bringing Ben Affleck back to do that means nothing.
I mean, how many times have we said it in the past 4 or 5 weeks?
Yeah,
What's going on? What is going? They are a mess. A
they're a
mess,
total mess. Yeah.
Jeannine. It's
Hmm.
just ridiculous. And they're making these decisions that are just complete or
Bonkers.
seemingly just really narrowing their audience down. It's like really
Yeah.
terrible and terribly worded decisions of let's appeal to middle America and not everybody else.
Yeah.
Well, let's just appeal to a small portion of Nebraska. Do they
Because
watch
obviously, if he
People
is
from
wanting to
Nebraska don't watch television. They just go on farms. That's what Nebraska does, doesn't it?
you're
That's a
really
bit
good.
of
Yes, it's
anti-Nebraska things there.
a little
But,
bit of a Nebraska stereotyping. But
Nebraska stereotyping. Idaho, very
um
much the same. Wyoming, very much the same.
oh gosh.
Kansas,
You sound like
South
Zaslav.
Dakota.
You're just eliminating people from our demographic.
I'm not
just
eliminating
just
people from our demographic.
offending people.
I might be offending the good people of South Dakota, sure, but I'm sure they'd agree with me.
Oh goodness.
They don't have heavily urbanized areas, do they?
No, probably not. Probably not. But I mean, he's talking about this whole I want to follow the Feige formula. Well, Kevin Feige is very inclusive.
But
So
incredibly so, yes.
I don't know what he's talking about. I don't
Certainly
know.
these days. Certainly these days. Maybe less so 10 years ago when it did feel sometimes like he was being a little bit, not stereotypy, but, when it felt like the MCU was a little bit um, man central, white
Yeah.
man central, but certainly not these days.
Yeah.
Certainly not these days. It couldn't be further from these days, really, could it? It's speaks to everybody. It really does speak
Yes.
to everybody. There is characters and shows and movies for absolutely
Everyone
everyone these
and
days.
there's an effort to be very inclusive and tell stories from those perspectives and
There is, and
yeah, so if you're
do
trying
it
to follow
well.
yes, and so if you're trying to follow the Feige plan, that includes diversity. So sorry.
It does not include making weird decisions about destroying your movies and
So yeah.
doing all that. And then just from like I said, the higher Warner Brothers, the HBO Max things, the getting rid of a load of showrunners of diverse shows
Yes. So
to
sorry, Zoobly Zoo. I don't think you know what the hell you're talking
oh,
about.
is that what his name is now? That's an old reference. I
It
forgot that
is.
existed.
Yeah.
If you know, you know from that
Yes.
for
Yes.
that one, I think, isn't it?
Yes. Definitely.
God, that's brought back something in the back of my mind. It really has.
Well, I mean, I guess that's a good segue into the past weekend.
Well,
Um,
yes, I suppose if you would like to talk about that now, a celebratory time, but I suppose a little bit of a sad time.
yes, so we did have the last Schmoedown taping. Um, so it was the final spectacular. We had kind of a great mix of matches. So I don't know that it's been revealed like what matches there have been. So I
I
don't.
believe is it airing on October the 1st?
I
I
think
believe.
so. So yes, I don't think they've revealed who's playing and what the matches are
Okay.
yet, so I don't want to get into those things just in case. But yeah, definitely you're gonna see every division. You're gonna see some great matches. You're gonna see some emotional moments, some funny moments. I actually got to be a part of the final taping, in a new way for me, a new way for the machine. So it's kind of something I got to kind of tick off my Schmoedown bucket list. So I don't know if that's been announced yet either. So I kind of will, save that for when
Oh,
it happens.
you
But
you're keeping the you're speaking very well here, Jeannine. I think under embargo, even though
yeah, I mean,
I
I
would
don't know.
imagine I would imagine at this point
Not a lot has been.
it's probably no, not a lot's been announced, but it might be fair game because ultimately it is coming to an end. It is the absolute finale, isn't it? Or
Yes, but
certainly for now. I mean, who's to say what will happen in 5 years' time?
yes, if
You
somebody
don't
sees
know.
down the line and wants to like make something out of it, then who knows? But yeah, it was just very emotional. It was getting to see everybody and play these final matches, and some of the people in the matches kind of had some really powerful moments, and um just some funny reveals and things to laugh at. And it was just great being with everybody. And uh, you really felt like we were in kind of this little secret club that, we were just kind of lucky to have experienced. And yeah, the final match and the final kind of interview, um, Jen pulled Christian and Mark aside and like interviewed them and kind of talked to them about how the show started and where the idea came from. And I think she might have got Christian a crack a little bit. So
Oh,
um
exciting. The
yes.
there'll be a new song instead of Smokey Robinson's "The Tears of a Clown." It will be Smokey Robinson's "The
the,
Tears of Christian Hal."
the tears of a schmo.
The
So
tears of a schmo.
yes. So definitely a
It's
really
not funny.
emotional
It's not
day. I
funny.
mean, it was just fun, and getting to be there with these people. And I think we talk a lot of talk about, oh no, we're gonna still hang out. But if you don't if you're not there like I am, you're probably not going to see a lot of these people. But I got to like talk to people about real things, and had people talk to me about real things. I saw the Real Rejects, and I got to kind of just talk to them and be like, I really love everything you're doing, and it's just been cool to kind of work with you guys and see, and Koi, and like seeing all your success has been really great. And so I got to kind of just say those things to people and tell them what they meant to me and appreciate what they've done, and just hang out and drink a
Yeah.
lot. And you know
Yeah.
so yeah.
It's it was a special thing, and I think it will always be a very special thing. It's certainly
Yeah.
been a significant part of my life for the past good few years as well, even though maybe in the last couple of years I haven't been as in tune with it as I used to be, but I certainly feel very much a part of the community of the movie Trivia Schmoedown. I always have since it very first started. Um, and being able to go over to LA, to go to match tapings myself as I
Yeah.
did, to go to even a live event over there, which I did get to do as well, and meet you and everybody else, and
Yeah.
all the wonderful people involved in it, and really get how much love they had and have for the Schmoedown. They have and had for each other, and to create not just a great show, but just to create a really loving together community. Like there's been very rare instances in 9 years of the Schmoedown community on a sizable scale having arguments, having sides,
Yeah.
having a confrontation. It's been very together. Individual people might come and go and
Mm.
fall off and have
Yeah.
fights with each other, sure, That's going to happen in a thousands upon thousands of people community.
Of course, but for the most part, it was pretty positive and just a great
Yeah.
energy and just a really cool idea and a fun coming together of everybody and just
And
a
I
really
really do
special
think that'll
thing.
carry on.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
really do think that'll carry on
Yeah.
in in people's minds and in people's lives. And I do think the friends that have been made through the Schmoedown will continue to be friends. They
Yes,
will continue to
that is
make.
the hope. Yes, because
Yep.
I fully intend on maintaining friendships and putting that effort in and going down to LA and seeing
Yeah.
people and I fully am committed to maintaining friendships with everyone I've met through the Schmoedown.
And look,
So
when the day comes that I turn up back in LA, I would I would want to meet up with a bunch of these people again that are still, in that city, of course, because there's been quite a few people move around to various other places.
yeah.
But certainly the people that are around there, I would like to, go and do stuff because they still do movie related things in
Yes, I
in
think
in in
everyone
that
is all kind of has their
city,
own
don't
thing,
they? They just
going
have their
on.
own,
So
exactly. They just kind
yeah,
of have their own thing, but it doesn't mean that friends don't still come together. It doesn't mean friends don't still meet up,
yeah,
which very much does happen. I mean, the amount of people that have done, thanks to the Schmoedown, and have gone on to do great things, to create great shows of their own together, little communities of their own.
yeah.
Even us on here, you wouldn't be here if the Schmoedown didn't exist. I don't think we would really. We
No,
would be.
probably
We
not.
would be. We would be fair acquaintances, I think, if it wasn't specifically for the movie Trivia Schmoedown, which
I
is a
think so.
ridiculous
Yeah,
thing
to think
to say,
about.
really.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think it would be true.
Yes, but I think it's given me so much in terms of just confidence and feeling like I could do things and making me want to be more active in this kind of media sphere. So I don't think
Yeah,
I would have wanted any of that as much as I do now without kind of building that confidence that I was given through the Schmoedown. So yes, I did do a long Twitter thread of all the things that meant something to me that I accomplished in the Schmoedown. So you can check my Twitter for that thread. Um,
yes.
but yeah.
But yeah, we
It
look
was
forward
a
to
lovely goodbye to this thing that meant so much to all of us, so
we look forward to that final Schmoedown spectacular on October the 1st. I forget which channel it's going to be airing on, actually, because I don't
yeah,
believe the
no, but
movie Trivia Schmoedown YouTube channel actually exists anymore. I think it's
yeah,
now
it
been
is.
changed over.
No, it is,
Oh, is it still
it's
there?
there, yeah.
Okay. I thought it had been changed over. I thought it had
It
been
did, but
become something else.
it is back to that again, so,
Oh, I see. Okay.
yeah.
I'm speaking about things I don't really know about, clearly, and I've just kind of seen in passing. But we are very much looking forward to that. It's been a significant part of both our lives and a hell of a lot of our, you know, um, online friends' lives, shall we
Mhm.
say. And yes, Jeannine's real life friends. And okay, yes, my real life friends who I have met as well in the past.
Yes.
But there's been plenty of people who I've never met in person who I am fair friends with simply because of the Schmoedown.
Yes.
And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And it has been, and it will continue to be. It will not. The friendships and relationships that have blossomed from the Schmoedown will not die because the Schmoedown has come to an end, which I think
Yeah.
is the best part, is the best kind of legacy that it
Yes,
could
I
leave.
agree.
Um, but yes, it has done, and I'm glad. I'm glad the final tapings went well. I'm glad the final tapings were emotional. I'm glad they were emotional because if they
Yeah.
weren't emotional, then it would have felt a little bit. Um, it wouldn't have meant as much.
Yes.
But I'm also glad that you had celebrations, you had fun, you had connection moments,
We did.
which
We
are
did. And I'm glad I
very,
got to
very
be a part of
important.
it in a small way, but I'm glad, I would have loved to have been up there playing, but just to even be a part of it I'm glad I was there. So
Well, I think you've been
yeah.
part of the entire thing in a pretty sizable way, so
I'd
that's
like to think so,
well,
but you
I
know.
would think so. Never mind like to think so, I would think so. But yes, a great thing, a great thing
Yes.
that is well worth celebrating.
Yes.
What may be not worth celebrating, Jeannine, is the next thing we have to talk about in our What's Up, I think, which is this this live action Pinocchio movie from Disney.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, they don't have a great track record with the live action.
Now, Guillermo del Toro's doing his stop motion Pinocchio movie as
Yeah.
well, isn't he? Which looks significantly more interesting than this bland ass looking thing that just.
Well, I mean, for me in general, Pinocchio was never a standout. Like
Oh, I mean, I
Pinocchio,
love
I mean,
Pinocchio.
no, well, for me, Pinocchio, Dumbo, all of those kinds of movies from that time are just not ones that I feel like
The early
revisiting.
40s Disney movie.
No, it's just like I watch them because I'm like I should really love these, and I just never really do. It's not that I
Is it because they're
dislike them.
weird?
They are a little bit weird. They get a little racist, you know. So
They kind of do, yeah.
so it's just weird. Like I always think I should love these movies, but I can't bring myself to love them. Sure, they're good. They're nostalgic. They're not bad, but they're just not. You know, I am a Disney Renaissance person, 100%. So,
You
um,
are, you are.
you know, yeah, no. So I don't know. I like that it looks a lot like the animated movie come to life.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But
I think the actual look of Pinocchio is pretty good for a live action adaptation of Disney's Pinocchio.
and I think this is
Um,
very much in the vein of the director that we have. So
yeah,
that's
Zemeckis, isn't it?
yes, which is kind of like, like with Aladdin and now with Hercules, I don't feel like Guy Ritchie is a fit for that. But I do
Yeah.
feel like, like I felt like Kenneth Branagh was a good fit for Cinderella. Um I feel like Zemeckis is a good pick for this. So,
Was it
yeah,
Condon for Beauty and the
Beauty and the
Beast?
Beast, like that should have worked, but
Well, we have thoughts about Beauty and the Beast. Let's remind
totally.
ourselves once again of how good the French one is. It's
Yes, Le
so
Belle et la
good.
Bête is so good.
It's
So
so
good.
good.
Go listen to our episode of It's a Wonderful Podcast where we do a whole Beauty and the Beast retrospective. It's a great episode and great
Screw
conversation.
Disney's
And
Beauty and the Beast.
yes, we
Screw
close
the
out talking
original
about that live
animated
action.
Disney
Ugh, it's
Beauty and the
not
Beast.
good. I still say best live action is Cinderella. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I've yet to see a Disney live action remake that I've enjoyed as much as Cinderella. They've all been kind of not great. So, a live action remake of, in a run of live action remakes that haven't been good, and it's of a movie that's not my favorite. I
I get that.
I really
Yes.
don't know that I care that much,
I mean,
you
do
know.
I care? No, because have I ever cared about Disney's live action remakes?
No,
No,
literally,
not particularly.
you've only seen two of them. One of
Have
them I
I?
made you watch, and
No,
one of them
no, 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 no. I
three.
think
You've seen
I've seen
three.
3 of them.
Three. You've seen The Jungle Book,
I've seen The
right?
Jungle Book, yes. I've
I made you
seen.
watch Cinderella, and you enjoyed
Yes.
it, and we
Yes, I
watched
did.
Beauty and the Beast for the show.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any others.
No,
I
you
don't
haven't
think I've
seen
seen any
Mulan, you
others.
haven't seen The Lion King, you haven't seen Aladdin.
No, because these are actual animated movies that I do like. You
Yeah.
know, and to be fair, I like the animated versions of the Jungle Book and Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast. I mean, let's call it what it is. I know I say screw Disney's Beauty and the Beast when it comes to comparing it to the French one, but the animated Beauty and the Beast is an outstanding animated movie. It really
It is.
is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not as weird as the French one, so I just like the French one. Um, it's
So
great.
good.
But no, I mean, I really am I was a Pinocchio kid. Like, Pinocchio was my Disney movie when I was a kid, and I know that sounds weird because I was a child in 1942 when Pinocchio came out. But it really was. It was the one I would watch the most. The one Disney
Wow,
animated
okay.
movie I would watch the most. I remember owning the VHS of Pinocchio. And I don't specifically remember owning a VHS of any other. Well, I think I owned The Jungle Book and Pinocchio. I don't think I owned any of the Renaissance movies.
Okay.
So they were kind of my two real always watch them.
Okay.
And I do like Pinocchio because it's dark, it's really
Of
twisted, it's
course.
really nasty. All the Pleasure Island stuff. I would be interested to see all the Pleasure Island stuff done in live action, but you know full well it's going to be watered down to hell.
Well, I
It's going to
mean,
be
but I mean, in the animated film, we didn't even see what happened to those little boys. We just saw them get turned, and then like we never got. So if you're gonna stretch the plot, at least give us some like reconciliation of like what happened to these children, these
sure,
these poor donkey boys.
but you really think they're going to show like an American Werewolf in London style donkey transformation in this Disney live action Pinocchio? Are they hell? They are
No,
never going to show something like this. They
no,
want children to go and watch this movie. This isn't the 40s anymore where you can get away with putting really dark, horrible things in your children's movies. Absolutely not. This is not going to be anywhere near as horrific as that particular scene from the animated movie. And
yeah,
I don't like that. It might come across as kind of pseudo scary. You know, like the coachman in
yeah,
Pinocchio is really terrifying. Stromboli is really terrifying.
yeah,
And all the Pleasure Island stuff, you ain't gonna get a big Native American statue throwing cigars to children
yeah.
in
No,
this movie.
probably not.
You aren't
No,
gonna get that
no.
at all. These I would the whole point of Pleasure Island is do whatever you want. Do all these rebellious things that, adults don't let you do that you kind
Yeah,
of want to do. And if you do them more and more and more because you're a bad kid, you don't have a good heart, you'll give in to all this temptation, then you become a donkey. That's the whole
yeah.
point of it. So they're not going to have children smoke and drink like they do in the animated movie. They're not going to have this,
But
even
I
if it's
mean,
weird
even
CG live
and
action nonsense.
and even if it's like a discouraging message, like look at the bad things that will happen to you if you do
Which
these
is what
things.
Pinocchio is. Pinocchio's
Essentially,
not
it's a
saying,
whole
yes, go and
morality
smoke
tale. Yeah,
cigars.
yeah.
It's an
It's showing,
entire morality tale.
terrible things will happen if you lie and do terrible things. So
But even like Foulfellow and Gideon, their live action adaptations from this trailer that we get, they don't feel as kind of sneaky. Like, I really feel they are very, very sneaky. I mean, particularly, obviously, Foulfellow, because he's a
yeah,
stereotypical fox, isn't he? With a top
yeah,
hat that just feels
yeah. Your
sneak.
stereotypical fox with a top hat.
Yeah, all the stereotypes of that just feel very, very sneaky, obviously.
Yes.
And I think there's something very expressive about him as an animated character in that movie. But in this, it feels a bit Lion King-ish. It feels a bit like the Jungle Book was, where it's just kind of, oh, you've kind of made him look too much like a
Too
fox,
real. Yeah.
you
So
know?
I don't know. I need to watch the original movie again because I have literally have not seen it in a long time,
Like the
in
whale as
years.
well. The whale.
Yeah.
Why actually is it Monstro? Monstro the
Monstro,
whale.
yeah. Which
Even the
my
whale looks
nephew,
weird.
I don't know, my nephew, I told you he has a very weird.
Yes,
He loves
take
Pinocchio. He
take
loves
him
the
to watch
movie
it.
very much. But yes, we did that ride and he was kind of just like not.
We've
So I
said
don't
this
know.
before. Jeannine Jalen is obsessed with Pinocchio. He will grow up
Yeah, he
loving
was terrified
Pinocchio.
of the ride all day long. He was worried that every ride we were getting on was going to be Pinocchio all over again. But then when we got home, all he wanted to do was watch a video of the ride on YouTube over and
Yeah,
over and over again. So I don't
there's
know.
this inherent obsession.
So
This is
yeah, I don't
exactly the same
know
as
if
me and ghost trains when I was young.
yes. So I don't know if this is something he's gonna want to see, if he'll be interested in it, but yeah.
I mean, it's probably admittedly safer for children to watch this movie than to watch the original movie, because the original movie is really terrifying, but very expressively so and very impressively so,
Yes,
I
and
think.
I'm waiting for the people to come out of the woodwork because, oh, God forbid you change our fan favorite character of the blue fairy into a black lady.
Oh, your fan favorite character? Do people love the Blue Fairy this much? I mean,
And
is
that's
the
what I'm
Blue Fairy a
saying.
fan favorite
That's
character?
my sarcasm.
I
She's
see.
she's all of a sudden gonna become a fan favorite character
That's
because
true.
you're changing her and you're blackwashing her. How dare you?
Fact of the matter is, it's Cynthia Erivo who's just
Yeah,
delightful.
I think they're
So,
gonna have her singing the "When You Wish Upon a Star," so they want somebody who can
ooh,
really sing. You know?
oh yeah, she will.
Yes.
I mean, admittedly, I like that, but also that's Jiminy Cricket's song, isn't it?
I mean, in the movie, he's gonna sing it, but I'm sure she's gonna sing it too. If you have Cynthia Erivo, you're gonna use her.
I mean, you are. Yes, you
And
are.
I think you hear it in the trailer, a woman singing it. So
Also, also, Jiminy Cricket looks really weird. I don't like the
he
look of
looks
Jiminy
like he's
Cricket.
made of wood too.
He
Like
does. He does. I don't like the look of Jiminy Cricket in this movie whatsoever. I
why
don't
does he
like it.
look like he's made of wood? I don't just
I
yeah.
don't like it. Tom Hanks's Geppetto looks like Geppetto, sure,
He looks
that's
just
fine.
like Geppetto, yeah. And Pinocchio looks just like
He really
Pinocchio.
does. He really does.
They
It's a
even
good.
made Goldie, is that the name of the fish? I don't remember the fish.
Oh
But
God, what's the name of the fish?
they made the
I don't
fish and the
know.
cat look very much cartoonish,
The cat's called Figaro. I know that.
but
What's the
then
name of the fish?
is her name Goldie? I don't remember.
I
I
don't
told
know
you
at
it's
all. It's
been
terrible.
several years since I've seen it. But yes, I feel like someone is gonna be like, "How dare you change the blue
Probably.
fairy? She's
Probably.
an
Not that it.
icon.
Not
She's a
that it
white
matters at all.
icon. How dare
she's
you?"
a she's a white icon. Oh, for God! What the Blue Fairy is, Jeannine, is a Schmoedown icon.
Yes, she
It has to be said. The
She
Blue
is.
Fairy is an old school Schmoedown icon.
That is true. That is very true.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference to have Cynthia Erivo, and you're going to get, like you say, really good quality of singing, because this is
Yes.
exactly what Cynthia Erivo does. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Yes. So I'm curious. I need to watch the original though to
And
kind
the
of.
Blue Fairy's barely in it anyway.
I know.
The Blue Fairy just comes, ooh, you're a
Yes.
real boy, ding. And
Ding,
then she
and that's
just
it.
goes off for the rest of the movie and then
Yeah,
comes back at the
exactly.
end to just go, well done, you've learnt your lesson, ding.
Ding. Yeah,
That's it.
exactly. That's it.
That's all she does.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. I don't. I don't love the. I don't love the live action remakes as a concept or in practice, but
Yeah, they're very much a waste of money and time, but okay.
there's elements to this one that do look good, but you just know that it's going to be toned down. And if the, which is why I'm kind of genuinely interested for this Del Toro one, because it's still Pinocchio.
Yeah.
It's still the same story, but it's Del Toro, so it's gonna have weirdness,
It's
and
gonna have some weird
it's
style.
not
Yes.
confined
To
to
the
Disney,
Disney, yeah,
because it's
wholesomeness.
obviously Pinocchio's obviously public domain. It's too old. It's, you know, I can't remember exactly when Pinocchio was written, but it was written in the 19th
Yeah,
century.
it's a Winnie the Pooh type situation.
Yeah, you can use you can't use Disney's Winnie the Pooh, but you can use, is it like you can use Winnie the Pooh if Winnie the Pooh's not got a red shirt on? You're
Well, we'll
fine.
see. I mean, we'll see what this crazy horror Winnie the Pooh looks like.
Yeah, anyway,
But
it's
yeah,
weird.
But yeah, we also have, Hercules, and Snow White is filming now, and
Yeah.
Little Mermaid. So I think the only one I'm really kind of excited about is The Little Mermaid. So, which of course that's a big outrage as well.
Of course it is, of course it is. But even in that, you have to make the Ursula elements nasty. You have to make them dark. You have to make, and they, I just don't. I think it's gonna
Yeah,
be too.
I think it's Melissa McCarthy, so I don't
Well,
think
that's what I
she's
mean.
getting
It's gonna
very
be
dark. Yeah.
too kind of pseudo dark. It's gonna be like, oh, it's safe, really. It might. You might have a few shadows on the screen. It might be a bit of an evil laugh, but it's safe,
But I don't think
really.
we're gonna get sinister, evil Vanessa and
No,
a giant Ursula with like her cackling
no.
and getting stabbed by the bow of a boat, a ship. So
I want blood and torture in my Disney movies. This
well,
is what
watch the
you
new
get.
Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh, I believe
Oh
it's called
yeah,
Blood and Honey. So
brilliant.
there you go.
Cannibal
Well,
Winnie the Pooh. I love it's
well,
horrible.
speaking of blood and speaking of horror, um,
Speaking of blood and horror,
yes, I actually had some fun watching a couple of birthday horror movies to celebrate my birthday.
yes, you did. Yes, you did. I did wanna. I was almost questioning whether to save this till the end of our What's Up, the very end of What's Up,
Okay,
because that
okay.
would segue into the rest of the
Ah,
birthday related show.
okay.
Um, because there's also a couple of other brief things we can touch on. One of which is apparently Disney Plus are making a King Kong television show
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with the current,
Skull
MonsterVerse
Island,
King Kong.
Godzilla. Yeah.
That is, I know that the rights to King Kong are all over the place as well. It's kind of anybody can use certain parts of King Kong, but there's certain parts that you're not going to be able to use. But
Yeah.
an idea of a show about Skull Island itself and the kind of not, I suppose, origins of King Kong, isn't it? How King Kong came to be a god figure on Skull Island, the inhabitants of Skull Island. I think this is what it's going to be.
Be about, yeah.
Um, and that's semi interesting to me. I don't
Yeah.
I don't mind the idea of seeing how King Kong became such a god figure for the inhabitants of Skull Island, because obviously it's an interesting place. It's going to have, I suppose, fantastical elements to this show, isn't it? But I would like to think it's also going to have kind of dark elements as well, like because it's King Kong. King Kong's not a family friendly story, really, is it?
Yeah, no, not really.
I know you can go and watch 1933's King Kong, the great 1933's King Kong.
Yeah.
You can watch that with your family, sure. I mean, it's not going to be overly scary for anybody, but there's still, prehistoric monster fights going on.
Yes.
There's still violence going on. There's still, you know, we have to be in fear of Kong.
Yes.
And I think this
But
is probably going to be that, even though we like to think of Kong as sympathetic sometimes, don't we? We like to think, oh, he's misunderstood. He's a big, fearful thing that everybody's terrified of, but really, he just wants love. And this is kind of the situation sometimes with
yes.
what we think of with Kong. And I don't think this series is going to be that at all. I
No,
think
but
it's going to be very much, why are we terrified of Kong? This is why we should be terrified of Kong.
why are we praising him? Because,
Yeah,
why are we worshiping him? What has he done for us to, see
I
him
don't
as some
think.
kind of god figure? But I mean, as somebody who really loves the whole kind of idea of Kong and the original films and all of that, what are your feelings? Is that something you're interested in watching,
Well,
or
yeah, I mean, like I said, semi-interested. I mean, I love King Kong, 1933's King Kong, more from a technical adventure movie standpoint rather
yeah,
than an actual. I think the story of it's just fine, isn't it? But from a visual standpoint, I love that movie. From a technical standpoint, I love that movie. An effects standpoint, I love that movie.
yeah,
It all really comes together to make a brilliant adventure movie. But this is clearly a little bit story focused. This series supposedly is going to be story focused, and I would imagine that you're not going to be with Kong, like you are in King Kong. You're kind of with Kong for a lot of the time. Yes, okay, you've got Jack and Fay Ray and all the rest of it, but you're going to be you are with Kong. You are kind of going around with Kong and Fay Ray. I think this one's going to be very much the inhabitants of Skull Island getting fleeting glimpses of Kong sometimes. You're going to have a few fights, sure.
Yeah.
But it's going to be focused on them and what, I suppose a worship show, isn't it? It's going to be like a why do we worship things, maybe? Or there's interesting angles to have.
Yeah, of course.
It's just whether they choose to do that or whether they choose to make it a dinosaur fighting show, which they could do.
Yes. So yeah, I'm curious to see which direction they take it in, if they're going to lean towards an origin story or just kind of like adventures with Kong and
adventures with Kong.
Yeah.
Let's make it family friendly.
Yes. So it's Disney, so we'll see. But
we will see. But it's Disney Plus who I suppose are doing. They're able to do a little bit more mature things, aren't they? I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, even some of the shows that they have put on there have had a little bit of an edge to them. They're not entirely family friendly.
Yeah.
Which we appreciate because, for God's sake, don't Disneyfy everything, Disney. Please. Don't Disneyfy King Kong. Do not Disneyfy King Kong. Make it an RKO radio picture. This is what we want.
Yes.
There's nothing greater than an RKO radio picture. Because it's a radio picture. And you can't have pictures on the radio, Jeannine. It doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't mind. So this is why I love RKO radio pictures. Because the logo for them has RKO in huge letters and then radio pictures in smaller letters. If it had RKO Radio, which is the actual name of the company, in large pictures or in large text, and then pictures in smaller text, it would make way more sense. Okay, the company is RKO Radio, and they're making pictures. But the way the logo is it makes it look like it's a radio picture.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense. And I always find it hilarious. Morgan's silly hilarity things. One other little, I suppose we will have to talk briefly about this as well, because of course now episode 2 of House of the Dragon has come out as of the airing of this episode, but we haven't watched it.
No, we haven't. No, we have not.
Air dates for House of the Dragon.
It's like the worst
Sundays. Time. It really is the worst time to talk about it for us, unfortunately, because we can't go live on a Monday.
No.
We can't just go live on a Monday, which is very, very sad. But as of the start of House of the Dragon, I know we haven't watched episode 2 yet. Did you enjoy the start of House of the Dragon? Are you enjoying the start of House of the Dragon? Who intrigued you the most as a character?
I did enjoy House of the Dragon. I think it was like, it in original Game of Thrones, it took me at least 5 or 6 episodes to kind of like get who everyone was and get the dynamics and get why people were fighting and kind of understand what was going on. So I feel like it's probably going to be a similar situation with this for me, where I'm going to need a few episodes to kind of really understand the kind of hierarchy and dynamics of everybody. But I was still kind of very interested, particularly with what happens at the end of the episode and how that's going to kind of trickle down into later things with a female being made king, and how that's going to play in the power dynamics, because obviously I didn't read A Song of Ice and Fire, so I don't
No,
I have a vague idea. Yes, and I have a vague idea of watching kind of people discuss what happens. So from what little I remember of that is kind of all I know. So
No, there's a great many fascinating characters in this particular time in the history of Westeros, in this Dance with the Dragons time, which is
yeah,
is what this show is. And Rhaenyra being named heir, and
yeah,
that's what starts off the whole thing, because Matt Smith ain't happy about it.
no,
Damon's not happy about it. Who I just thought was brilliant, especially in that first episode, because obviously we have only seen that first episode at the time of this recording. I just think he's nailing this. I
yeah,
think he is absolutely nailing it. I had my reservations,
yeah.
I really did, but I think he's great.
He's really good. Yes.
I think everybody's doing great, to be honest. I think there is a real sense of assuredness about this show as well. Like, I don't think there's any fear coming off of what the majority of people thought about the end of Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is real confidence in itself that seems to come across, and its ability to get into some different things, obviously, that
Yeah,
Game of
like
Thrones didn't
they're
get
not
into.
they're not
It's
walking into it
more
with a stigma of what
no,
that last season was. They're like, we're our
no,
own thing, and we're going to show you that we're our own thing. You know?
and it's obviously more. It's more focused as well, because it's not as
Yeah.
sprawling a story.
No, we're not following 20 different families. We're kind of
No,
focused in one
we're
place with
focused
one
on
kind of
we're focused on one family, and
yeah,
ultimately it'll be two sides of one family,
yeah,
with the High Towers coming into play a little bit, the Valarians coming into play a little bit, but everybody else is really kind of on the third tier.
yeah.
You're not going to get much Baratheon. You're not going to get much
No.
Stark at all, if any. You're not going to get any really Lannister. Any. You're going to get everything Targaryen.
Yes.
Two sides of Targaryen. Valarian and Hightower. And that's it. And I really love the Hightowers anyway. I think Otto Hightower's just a really interesting character. I think he's very low-key ambitious, but not kind of aggressive about it.
Yeah.
The hand of Viserys. I really just like how all these characters were played, because I have read Fire and Blood as well. Some
Okay.
time ago, so I don't remember massive amounts of details from it, but I do remember really liking the characters of the High Towers, of Otto and Alicent. And Alicent's a really interesting character when you come further into it, because she kind of does some. You think she's best friends with Rhaenyra now. She
Ooh.
ain't gonna be later on.
Ooh.
She is not
Okay.
gonna be later on. When it's Olivia Cook time, she ain't
Oh,
gonna be
yeah.
later on.
Yeah.
Not at all. But yeah, it's interesting. But I really enjoyed the start of this show, and it's not, like you say, it's not got a stigma on it from what happened from Game of Thrones, because it is its own
Yeah.
completely different thing. And I just think everybody's doing a great
An awesome job. Yeah.
job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm excited
And
to get into this. It definitely, like, with the original, it did take me like a few episodes to kind of really understand the dynamics, and once it clicked for me, I was all in.
yeah,
So I think it's going to definitely be a similar situation for me with this.
you aren't going
But
to
I'm
forget Queen Emma's death anytime soon either, I don't
no,
think.
no, no, that was
Which
very sad.
is one of the most confidently horrible things I've seen in an
Yeah,
opening episode for a television show ever.
yeah,
It's just, to be able to do something like that, and to have it not come across as exploitative almost,
yeah, a
is
little bit.
really impressive, I think,
Yeah,
from a show running point of view, from a writing point of view, because
yes,
the fact that you kind of hate Viserys after he orders basically his own wife's death to try and save his son.
Yeah, and then it's kind of for nothing. So then it's just a total waste, you know.
But you don't. But you also afterwards feel sympathy from him because you realise that it's the way of that world. It's not necessarily
Yeah,
him himself he's been forced to make this horrendous decision.
yeah,
Because of the way that world works, and it's
yeah.
all about that, and that's going to be the main focus of this entire show. It's how do we deal with these horrible decisions based on simply the way this world
World
is.
it works, yeah. Like, I definitely think it was good to have that scene right after where they're trying to like talk about the air and all of that, and he's just like, "No, my wife and child have died. Like, I'm not trying to talk about this shit right now."
Yeah.
Like, I
And
think he
my God, I
definitely,
think he's doing it. I think Paddy
yeah,
Considine's just doing a
mm-hmm.
great job as well.
Yes, yeah.
I really like it. I really like it. Unfortunately, I think we may have to wait till the very end of this season to really
To just really
do a
find a day to
big
talk about it.
long
Yeah.
thing
I would
about it.
love to have we really would have loved to do like a live episode to episode kind of breakdown show, but just when it airs, it's really difficult for us to do that.
I mean, we could even do like at halfway point. We could even do a halfway point
Yeah,
thing
I think
and do
that's
then a
doable.
second half thing. If
Yes.
that's probably more because there's going to be so much happen. I mean, there was already so much happen,
Yeah.
isn't there? Really. Here's a bit of trivia for you. Of course, in when Damon basically tortures the people of King's Landing with the gold cloaks, with the City Watch.
Mhm.
When he kind of goes about, and I think Damon was actually the one who gave the gold cloaks their gold cloaks, and that's why they're known as gold cloaks.
Oh.
So the City Watch were just kind of ramshackle before Damon came in and made them
Gave them.
organized and as they are now, and gave them
Okay.
cloaks. That's why they're
Oh.
called the gold cloaks.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, interesting. Anyway, that's a little brief bit on House of the Dragon.
Yes.
Birthday time, Jeannine. You have been watching birthday horror movies.
Yes. So I watched two. Happy Birthday to Me
With
and
Glenn Ford.
yes, which I did, if you listen to some episodes of Morgan Hasn't Seen during our thriller series, teen thriller series, we talked a lot about, referencing Good Bad Flicks, the YouTube channel, who did some
Yes.
really solid kind of video essay breakdowns on a couple of the movies that we discussed. He actually did one on Happy Birthday to Me. So
I don't
yeah,
think
he
it's a bad movie. I think
no,
it's a bit sure.
no, no,
It's a
no.
bit early 80s
Well,
slasher, isn't it? But
well,
it's not
yes.
bad.
Well, no, I mean, that's the point. He's not saying they're inherently bad. Good
No.
Bad Flicks is just like those movies that are fun to watch. It has good elements, but they're kind of seen as like B or C list movies. That's what he means by
Oh,
Good Bad
sure
Flicks.
it is, yeah.
um, but no, he kind of talks a lot about Glenn Ford just being kind of terrible, like refusing to come out
Unusual
of
for Glenn Ford.
yes, like locking himself in his limo until they would like meet certain demands he had. I guess at the time, he was married to some 32-year-old woman, and like somebody who was living in the neighborhood where they were filming, like cat called her or something, and he refused to, and the guy like
Wow.
refused to go inside his house. So Glenn Ford locked himself in his limo and refused to come out until that guy like stopped harassing him and went back in his house. So there was like a cop guy on set, and they made the cop go talk to the man, and I guess they asked like the cop like, what did you say to the man to get him going to his house? He's like, if you don't get back in your house, I'm gonna shoot you.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Crotchety old Glenn Ford.
Yes.
You love to see
And
it.
apparently during one of his scenes, some PA or somebody called for lunch like in the middle of one of his scenes, and so he like told off the guy, and like I don't know, I can't remember if he hit him or I think he hit him or he told him
No,
off or something.
that's not nice.
Yes, and then went back to his so there was a lot of him
Oh
just
dear.
locking himself in his limo and being a diva, arguing with the director, all of these things, which was
Doesn't
directed by
come
the
across
guy.
like that at all.
It's directed by the guy who directed the original Cape Fear. So definitely some
Really?
yes,
Oh,
yes.
yes. Remind me of his name.
Oh,
Remind me of his name.
I don't
Because
remember.
I definitely had that somewhere in my brain. I really did.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Let's
Terrible that
see.
I can't pull
I
his name
know.
off the top of my head, really.
J. Lee Thompson.
No, that wasn't the name I was thinking of, actually. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Yes.
Doesn't matter.
But
Anyway, I think it's a good movie.
yes. I mean, and it was there were some issues with the ending. They literally changed the ending at the last minute. So that's why kind of there's nothing really leading up to
Yeah.
the reveal of what happens. I think they wanted to make it that like some spirit was possessing the spirit of her dead mother was possessing her to kill all these people, but they thought that that would be too obvious. So then they
It's a
switched
B
it.
slasher movie. Just make it
Yes,
obvious. It
exactly,
doesn't matter, does it?
exactly. So then they decide to switch it to try to make it like more unpredictable and like
Yeah.
it was only because that actress she like had made a face that the director didn't like and so he thought that made her look like a good villain. And so
Brilliant.
then they switched it to make her the villain,
I love
which
it.
it was funny because she's actually um an actress from a soap opera that I used to watch all the time. I used to watch Young and the Restless all the time, and I'm
Okay.
like, hey, that's Lauren Fenmore from Young and the Restless. So,
Okay.
yeah, uh, so big Canadian horror film. It was kind of like after
Yeah.
My Bloody Valentine, and they really wanted to like bank on these holiday horror films and
Oh, yeah.
um
1981 was not a bad year for Canadian slasher movies.
yes, and so they had to and it was also this whole thing if they wanted to get, like, Canadian tax breaks, they had to, like, have the majority of the cast be Canadian and things like
Yeah.
that. So, yeah, definitely, like, so if you watch that movie, I would check out the Good Bad Flicks, they give a lot of kinda insight
Okay.
info, and also I watched the kill count, which is, like, if the
Yeah.
horror movie I watch is a kill count, I love to watch the kill count right after and get more insight there as well.
Happy Birthday
And
to Me, also good poster.
yes, but, like, the poster makes no sense, which he
I
also
know it
talked
makes
about
no
as well,
sense. I know it
because the
makes no
guy who
sense.
gets the skewer in the face is not the guy in the poster. The guy in the poster is not even in the movie, and they, like, even name the guy on the poster. They're like, "Oh, Mike's not gonna have shish kebab again," or something like that, and he's not even in the movie, and there's, like, a list of characters. Bob's never gonna ride a motorcycle again. That's not the person in the movie. Like, literally, like, naming all these things that
It's a
happen
good
to these
poster, though.
so dumb.
It's
So
still a good
yes,
poster.
yes. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that one. Yes, and just hearing Glenn Ford just be surly old man causing trouble and locking himself in his limo and all that, just really funny. And then I watched Bloody Birthday, which was one I heard about on the kill count. With just like I guess these three kids, and all three of them were born on an eclipse, which kind of I guess messed with their flow and made them all kind of just like evil and have this urge to kill. So it's like these
I
three
like
killer
it. I
kids.
like it.
Yeah, it's these three killer kids and like um they're just like this little gang of menaces and they play all innocent and sweet and then they're like out here just killing everybody. Um and like the leader of the group, he's this kid with glasses. I believe he's the actually, the younger brother from just one of the guys.
Just one of the guys,
Her younger brother.
which one was just one of the guys? I
Are you
forget movies that we've
serious?
done on Morgan hasn't seen. Which one was just one of the guys? Remind me. I remember the title.
It's the one where the girl is pretending to be a guy.
Yes, 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 yes,
Yes.
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 The she's the man
Yes.
compare. Yes,
Yes, so
okay.
you know her younger brother in that movie.
Yes, right. Yes, 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 yes.
When he was younger, he was like the leader of this little gang of three kids. So it's like him and this other blonde kid and like this little blonde girl. And they're just like so devious and terrible, but then they play all innocent and cute and they're just causing
He's
destruction.
devious in just one of the guys. That
Yes,
kid as well. He's a
yes, but
pest.
he's also just kind of very cool. Like he locks a kid in the freezer and then he just like struts away. Like
Okay.
yes. So and then if you watch the kill count on it, like the way James kind of describes them is really funny. They're like, oh yeah, here's you got your cool leader and like this little girl who plays it really innocent. And then the third guy, like, you're useless. You're like, keep up with them, kid. Like you're not as good and you're not as cool as the other two. So like when you watch it after kind of getting the context of like, yeah, you're right. The third kid's kind of like the lamest one. Like, and he doesn't do
Okay.
anything to really. keep up with the other 2 kids. But yeah, a fun, like, triplet of killer kids, kind of attacking these people, and yeah, so it was a fun birthday, watch of kind of these B80s horror films, so they're actually a lot of fun, so
Well, they are. They are. The
yeah.
slasher movies are slasher movies. They don't have to
Yes.
be phenomenal to be
Yes.
good,
But
which
yes,
is the
I
good thing about them, I
definitely got
think.
me in the birthday spirit and just had a lot of fun kinda watching some silly horror, so
Good. Well, let's move straight on in to a bit of a let's talk discussion, Jeannine, as we discuss
Alright.
more birthday movies or birthdays from movies, good birthdays within movies, or just birthday movies. Two of which you have just mentioned because they are two, birthday related horror movies. Sure, we like that. But I think do we have two each? I have a little bit of a third mention-y one
Oh,
just because I like it as well.
okay.
Um, who would like to go first with a birthday-related movie?
Um, I guess I'll go
Well, yes, it
first.
is your birthday, so I think you should.
So yes, a birthday movie I do really enjoy is 13 Going on 30. Um, it's kind of like a girl big concept. Um,
Yeah,
and I like the idea of like, when you're young, like you think adults get to do whatever they want and they have all this great kind of life. But then, a 13-year-old kind of jumping into that, really seeing how difficult it is to be an adult and manage things. So I like that you kind of have to play with that idea of getting older, but like kind of compromising that with your idea, as a kid, of what getting older looks like. And you kind of have this wonderful idea of it, and then when you get here, it's kind of like it's not really that at all.
yeah.
So yeah, it's just a fun movie. I like that it's like a girl version of Big. Um, a lot of funny moments, a lot of memorable kind of iconic things, like the Thriller dance. I think I want to say like Mark Ruffalo, he almost didn't do this movie because he just did not want to do that Thriller dance. He was like so embarrassed to do that, but he did a really
I
good
can
job.
believe that. I can believe that
But he
from
did a
someone
really
like
good job.
Ruffalo, to be fair.
I think Jennifer Garner does a really good job of kind of playing young, playing a 13-year-old in this 30-year-old body. Um, and
But does
even the
it
girl.
have anything as slightly creepy as Big does in it?
No, well, there is a scene where she does like try to hit on a younger, like a kid.
Oh.
But then like
Hmm.
her friend is like, "What are you doing?" and like drags her away. Cause like they're all like sitting at a table and she's like, her friend tells her, "Oh, that guy's like checking you out." Like, and she's like, "Oh, really?" She's like, "You should go talk to him." So then she gets up and she like goes past the guy and like goes to this like cute like 13-year-old boy. She's like, "Oh,
Oh
hi. I think you're
dear.
really cute." And her friend's like, What are you doing?" And she's
That
like,
is terrible.
"I
That
wasn't
is
talking about
creepy.
him. I was talking about the man over there." And she's like, "Ugh, gross."
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
And there is a scene where like, she's like how it works, because obviously it sounds like you've never seen 13 Going
I
on
have
30.
never seen
Oh,
13 Going on 30,
breaks my
no.
heart. Um, where basically she makes this wish to be 30. She wakes up at 30 and she already kind of has this life.
Ah, okay, so it's not like Big.
Yes. No. So there's that twist on it, that it's like she's
Okay.
already in the life that she wanted. She has everything she
Okay.
wanted. So she has a boyfriend. She has this dream job. She's doing all of these things. People know her as Jenna Rink and she's this person already. But now she's a 13-year-old in that person's body. So like there's a scene where her boyfriend's like trying to do a strip dance for her and she's just like totally grossed out and like has to like get out of there. So yes, it
Oh,
definitely does not go
terrible.
as far. They definitely kind of bypass she never goes full on,
Yeah,
you
probably
know.
wise, really,
Yeah.
because that is the one really part
Inky
about
thing
Big,
about
isn't it?
Big.
Really, it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
dear, this comes across
Yeah.
really weird.
Not good. Yeah.
I don't like
So
this at
yeah,
all.
13 Going on 30. Just really cute in the vein of like, you know, a kid really thinking life is so much better when you're older, but then when you kind of
And
get
it's
there,
not.
I mean, yeah, it's not what you think it's gonna be. Like
No.
your 13-year-old brain is sort of like, I can stay up as late as I want. I can have a cool job and make my own money. I can have my own space. But no, like to
Whereas we
maintain
all
a life
know,
like that is very exhausting.
as we all know, Jeannine, what we want to do when we are no longer a child, what we want to do the most, or certainly what I want to do, is go to bed, not stay
Yes.
up. I don't
No.
want to stay up. I want to
I
go
mean,
to
I
bed.
stay up, but not because I want to. Just because I can't. I
Just want to
can't sleep.
go to bed.
Yes, and everything hurts. Like you can't sit in one position for too long because then
No,
you're like,
no.
yes,
Oh, I've seized up.
literally, yes, because yeah, I think most of us, when we sit for too long, we try to get up. We walk a little bit like Kaiser Sose before he like gets to be cool.
Sure.
Kaiser
Yeah,
Sose.
sure.
Yeah, we walk. We do the verbal kint walk
Little bit of a
until
shuffle.
we ease into a Kaiser Sose walk. Yeah, because we're just like all stiff.
Please,
So
please,
yeah,
please don't bring up that gentleman on this show.
it's the character, not
It
the
is the
person.
character.
Okay.
It is the character. You are right. Um. Oh, but good, good. I like that.
Yes, 13 going on
Okay.
30. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to pepper that into the
Probably.
shows because
Yes.
it's a solid movie.
Well, Janine, my birthday movie is maybe not a movie entirely centered around a birthday. In fact, all of my things more have like kind of they're better for birthday scenes within them rather than
Okay.
about birthdays specifically, because The Omen has a really good birthday scene.
Yeah, it does. It
It's
does.
about a birthday.
It
The
is.
opening is a birthday. It's Damien's birth. It's June the 6th. Six, so all the sixes and all this
Yes.
business. It's in Rome. It's really sinister and religious and all this kind of stuff. And Gregory Peck's running around going, I have a son. Um, he's the devil. And no, he doesn't say that. But the opening's a birthday because it's the birth. And
Yes.
then
You have
arguably
a
the most
birthday
famous
party.
scene, yeah,
Yeah.
arguably the most famous
Birthday
scene
party
from The
scene.
Omen is Damien's
Birthday
birthday.
party. Mm-hmm.
Um, where it's all very nice, isn't it? Oh, there's this carousel going around. Look at all these 70s children running around. This is all very nice, isn't it? Lee Remick's there, socializing with other mothers.
Yeah.
Gregory Peck's there, wearing the same suit he wears for the rest of the movie, kind of not
Stop
knowing what
coming
to
for
do,
Gregory Peck, okay?
not knowing what to do around all these
Lovely
children.
man. Leave him be.
And then you just get a few people notice something from the top of the house. And there's a nanny up the top of the house, Jeannine,
Yeah.
standing on a window ledge with a rope around her neck. Look at me, Damien, it's all for you. Jumps and hangs, crash, screams, horribleness,
Happy
dogs,
birthday.
weird black dogs looking at people. Omens, Jeannine.
Yes,
Omens.
omens. Yes.
Omens. A great
Solid.
birthday scene, a horrible
Solid.
birthday scene,
But
but a
yes, a
very, very
solid,
memorable.
memorable birthday moment in a movie
Very,
for
very
sure.
memorable
Yes.
birthday scene, and honestly one of my favourite horror movies of all time. That is a lot really centred around the birthday, and a birthday scene of the Antichrist himself. So
Yeah.
it's got more to do with birthdays than you may think, The Omen. I
Yes.
like The Omen. It's
It's a good
obvious.
one.
I don't have to really go into details about why I
No, I don't
like The
think so.
Omen, do I? But
It's very much a Morgan movie.
that birthday scene is just delightful in the most horrific way.
Delightful. You said delightful.
It's
Goodness.
delightful in the most horrific way.
Okay. Fair. Fair.
And it look at me, Damien. It's all for you is just such a great horror quote.
Yes.
It's a really well put together scene and reminds us of how great Richard Donner was as a director.
Yes.
Wonderful. Yes. We like The Omen.
We do.
We like The Omen because it terrifies us.
Yes. And just kind of even if you look into a little bit of what happened behind the scenes
Oh
in the
yeah,
making, that movie is
yeah.
so screwed up.
Yeah, it'll make you believe in, you know,
Something else.
religious goings on.
Yeah.
It will. A second birthday movie, Jeannine.
Well, this movie is not specifically about a birthday or involves a birthday, really. But
But it's a birthday movie.
it is my birthday movie. It's the movie I watch every year on my birthday because it mentions my birthday. I'm wearing a shirt representing it right now. No fate, but what we make, and that is Terminator 2 Judgment Day, because Judgment Day is August 29th.
It's
So,
today. It's
yes,
today.
today is Judgment Day. So
Watch
yes.
out for Skynet.
Yeah.
Have you seen any metal robots running around?
Anywhere any naked robots forming like
Just look out your
electrical.
window now. Can
Yeah.
I see any?
No,
No, I'm
probably not.
okay.
No. But yeah, as the machine, having that movie be, a movie that mentions my birthday, I always was just like, you know. Well, before I was the machine, I was like, that's my
What,
birthday.
you made some sort of did some sort of impression of a duck quacking? Was it, what was that noise you just
It's
made?
my excited. Hey, it's my birthday. You're supposed to be nice to me and not make fun of me. So just stop it right there. Just stop. Stop.
That
I will not have any of that. Everything I do is magnificent today. So you just.
Oh, you one of those people on your birthday? I didn't think you were one of those people
Yes,
on
I
your
am.
birthdays.
Yes, I am.
Terrible. So
See,
are you also
you're being so mean to me on my
are
birthday.
you
My
also
goodness.
one of
Do I have to
those
put my
people?
tiara on so you can remember that it's my birthday
Are
today?
you also one of those people who celebrates the birthday week? Oh, well, you are, aren't you? Because you
I
celebrate a
am.
birthday month. Because we have done on Morgan Hasn't Seen.
We
Your
have.
birthday takes over the whole
Birthday
damn
week, I was
year.
watching birthday horror
Of
movies to
course,
celebrate.
of course,
And
of
today we're
course, of
doing this
course.
show where you're making fun of my excited sounds and calling me a duck. So
I didn't call you
there
a
you
duck.
go.
I said you were doing an impression of a duck.
It's my I'm excited. Would you rather me like actually scream in your ear? Because I could do that. Would you like me to do that so I don't sound like a duck?
That would be unpleasant for the good
Okay, so there you
viewers.
go. I was thinking of your ears because of the
Thank you.
kindness of who I am. So
Thank you. You're very thoughtful.
yes, that's my on the machine, and Judgment Day is my birthday. No.
I mean, it's an exciting discovery, really, isn't it?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
it is.
Well,
It
much like
all
my
comes together.
excitement, much like my excitement in hearing my name in a movie for the first time with Ghostbusters, it was like hearing my
Or
birthday. I was like,
anytime you hear Fresno in a movie.
yes, it's very much. It's like I'm a part of this. Like this is where I live. This is when I was born. This is me. Like it makes you feel like just a tiny part of the things that you love. So yeah, just every year I make a point to watch Terminator 2 Judgment Day because Judgment Day is my birthday and it's a cool movie. And just that I've kind of cultivated this name of the machine, and so it's a movie about machines is just a cool thing. And yeah, so really just a movie doesn't really mention birthdays, but the fact that it mentions my birthday makes it a watchable birthday movie for me every year. So that's
It's
why
nice
it's my
to have
second pick.
it's nice and special to have those things like that. I don't really have those things. I don't really have that. For my birthday. I mean, my birthday is it's a somewhat celebrated day in England anyway, because it's St. George's Day, and St. George is the saint of England. So
Oh,
it's the same day as that. So some people do celebrate that. You know, they'll put flags up and go around in dragon costumes and things like that.
oh goodness.
Because it's St. George and the dragon. St. George fought a dragon and all this business, and he's the saint of England. So that's the same day as my birthday. But I prefer to think of my birthday as just being Shakespeare's birthday. So it's more like Shakespeare Day. So really, I probably should watch Shakespeare movies
You should. I mean,
on
I
my
have the same
birthday.
birthday as Richard Attenborough, so maybe I should
You
watch
do?
Gandhi or Jurassic Park or
Oh yeah, watch Gandhi
Miracle
on your birthday. That's a
Miracle on Great
birthday
Forest
movie.
Street.
Gandhi. Spend 3.5 hours watching Gandhi.
Flight of the Phoenix.
Flight of the Phoenix, yeah, and Richard
And
Attenborough.
I also share a birthday with Ingrid Bergman, who also died on her birthday, I believe.
So
So
did Shakespeare.
she was born on August 29th and died on August 29th.
Ingrid Berg. I think you're better off watching Ingrid Bergman movies, to be honest, rather
Yes.
than Gandhi. I really don't think that's a
Jurassic
movie
Park
for your
is not
birthday.
Jurassic Park is not a bad
No, it's not.
pick
No, it's not.
either. But
It's very true.
that was just the first Richard Attenborough directed film that popped into my head.
Oh, rightly so. Rightly so. I think it's his most notably directed movie, isn't it?
Yes.
Rightly so. And you shouldn't watch Miracle on 34th Street either. It's inappropriate for August. Very, very inappropriate for August.
Yes. So I guess Jurassic Park and Casablanca adding to the birthday movie watch list.
Yes. Not Gaslight. You'll just get annoyed.
Yes. Very, very
watch
upsetting.
Notorious. You could watch Notorious.
Yeah.
Could watch Notorious. Not
I
Gaslight.
do like Notorious. Yes.
Not a happy, fun-filled birthday movie.
No, definitely not.
A second birthday movie for me, Jeannine, and a movie with a very significant birthday, a significant birthday scene, and a movie that I obviously love dearly is, of course, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Yes.
Which, obviously, I love the movie dearly. I am Harry Potter through and through. And particularly in the Philosopher's Stone, Harry's 11th birthday is made an enormous deal of. More so than his other birthdays throughout the entire rest. Apart from his 17th birthday, okay.
Hagrid made a cake.
Hagrid made a cake. His 17th birthday, okay, it's made a big deal of because that's when they fly off from the Dursleys and there's the fight and Hedwig dies and all this business. That's on his 17th birthday.
But you make it sound like
situation.
it's like an actual celebration. It's not a celebration. It's like
no, it's not a celebration, but it's a birthday. It's his birthday.
Yeah,
but it's the in the first book and movie and the last book is when Harry's birthday is most relevant, really, to the actual plot. But obviously, that first movie, the first book, his 11th birthday, Hagrid comes storming in right as he blows out those drawn dust candles on the weird rock house. Hagrid comes bursting in. He makes him a cake that's not even spelt correctly because Hagrid's such an idiot, Jeannine. Hagrid's so stupid. No wonder he was expelled from school. Can't write.
That's why he can't write, because he was expelled from school.
They don't teach English at Hogwarts. This is a problem with Hogwarts. They don't teach people how to write.
Oh,
and Hagrid's parents were not particularly parental.
No,
so
they were not.
He struggled, poor Hagrid. He just likes animals.
I mean, he's doing far better than Groppy, so.
Yes, he is. He's got, sense, really, hasn't he? He's a lovely person, yes. Hagrid. We love Hagrid. And he's very, very sweet. And he does make the cake. And Harry finds out he's a wizard on his 11th birthday. And his life changes on his 11th birthday. And didn't we all want that on our 11th birthdays, Jeannine? Yes.
We did. Yes.
We did. We wanted to become wizards and to get our Hogwarts acceptance letters. And I think some people probably do and did. Their parents get them Hogwarts acceptance letters for their 11th birthdays. And then they probably think they're actually going to Hogwarts. And then they're just really disappointed when they're just going back to school like normal.
To regular school, yeah.
On at the start of September. Yeah, which must be really disappointing. And I think that's actually horrible. Of the parents to do. It's like, a Hogwarts acceptance letter. It's my 11th birthday. I'm actually going. It's real. It's not real. You're going to.
It's not.
state school, high school, or whatever it's. I couldn't think of a really random name for a school then, so I called it state school,
State
high
school,
school,
high
which
school.
doesn't make sense at all.
But when you're 11, you're not really going to high school yet, so not
Yeah, you
here
are.
anyway. Not here. You're not. You're not going to high
Well,
school until you're
Britain.
14 here.
Is Harry Potter not British?
Yes,
Yes.
sure
So,
is. But state
shush.
school, high school.
Are there any American students at Hogwarts? No. You have your own wizarding school.
Discriminating. Yeah.
No, you have your own wizarding school. This is the British wizarding school.
Yeah.
British and Irish wizards.
Okay.
It is. That's the fact. But Harry Potter's 11th birthday is a very, very memorable movie and book and media birthday,
Yeah.
I think. And one that has given many, many people wonder in their lives, and one that means a great deal to all Potter fans.
Yes.
And of course, Harry himself, whose life changes on his 11th birthday. But I did want to mention a little honourable mention, actually, of someone's 111th birthday.
Oh, okay.
Bilbo Baggins' 111st birthday.
Yes. Having a
which
big party
opens the
and
Lord
fireworks.
of the Rings.
Yes.
Which is just probably the best birthday party I've ever seen.
Yes.
In a movie or in a book, I suppose, as well. But also because I love Bilbo Baggins so much, and he's just me. It is exactly how I am at my birthday parties. Like, well, when I have one. Like, I love the idea of having a birthday party, but I also hate the idea of having a birthday party. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
you wish you had a ring that just could make you disappear and leave the party.
Yes. But also, like, I like the idea of, oh, look at these people. It's my birthday. Yes. Look at that. Oh, this is nice, isn't it? All these people here celebrating my birthday with me. Let's have some food. Let's have a good night. Let's have some music and entertainment and all this stuff. But also, please don't bother me. Please don't talk to me. Please don't get in my way. I don't want to see anyone. And this is Bilbo Baggins on his 11th birthday.
Yeah.
And he just plays a trick on everybody and then thinks it's really funny to himself because nobody else finds it funny. And he just sneaks off, and then Gandalf comes and is like, I suppose you think that was rather funny. He's like, yes, I did, actually. Thank you very much. Bye. I'm going now.
That is very much you.
But I love that. I love his, a long expected party, which is the title of the chapter. And it's a great birthday scene.
That's a good one. Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to quickly mention that as well. Not a lengthy let's talk today. It has to be said, Jeannine.
No,
but it doesn't need to be. Celebrating birthdays. This is what it's all about. There's plenty of nonsense to talk about in the WhatsApp anyway, so we're hardly a overly short show, are we today? I don't think, because we, of course, unless you have any other things to talk about in relation to birthday movies, Jeannine, it might be time for some fun and games.
Well, I mean, I did watch the movie that was the #1 movie at the box office the day I was born. Which I was just this close to it having to be Ghostbusters, but it was not. Alas.
Yes, we found this out. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yes, a couple weeks ago. Yes, it was Tightrope. It was Clint Eastwood crime movie. So I decided to watch it.
Movie.
And I thought, okay, this is going to be good. Like, I really remember really falling in love with the Dirty Harry movies. Like, I did not think I was going to like those movies as much as I did, but they were just fun. And then I also watched The Gauntlet. So I was like, okay, I like this cop era of Clint Eastwood films. Really enjoyable. So I thought, okay, I could get into this one. And then it's basically him just not being that very kind of, competent cop that I used to seeing him like. And I thought, okay, he's a father, single father. He has 2 daughters, his real life daughters in the movie. And this guy is going around, I guess, killing a bunch of like prostitutes. And so then he'll go to like these whorehouses and things and question these prostitutes. And then he'll just like sleep with them. Like, what are you doing? So, like, he hooked up with one of them and left his tie there. And so then later at one of the crime scenes, the killer's watching him and gets his tie and puts his tie at the crime scene. And then he's just like looking around and has to like sneakily grab his tie. And these other cops are watching him like, what was that about? Like, what are you doing, Clint Eastwood? Why are you
Uh,
sleeping
uh,
with all the
this
witnesses? I don't like it.
this seems to suggest that Clint Eastwood was using his tie for intimate
Yes.
purposes, which he might be
Yes.
into such things, you know.
I mean, that's how it was used in the movie. But
Oh,
yeah, like
it is actually exactly how it was used in the
he'll go
movie.
into this place to investigate a murder of another prostitute and run into a prostitute and then just get seduced by her and then just hook it up. And I'm just like, dude. And like we see like the guy who's doing the murders like watching him from some corner or whatever. So like, that kind of killer POV view.
Yeah.
Yes, and
What have
like
been?
then
What this killer's watching Clint Eastwood get down with somebody?
so like the killer was gonna kill one of these prostitutes and he goes to like question her and then he ends up like hooking up with her and this was like I think one of the girls that the guy was gonna kill, but then he ultimately just killed her like after Clint Eastwood like left. So obviously he's gonna be implicated because then his handcuffs are there at the scene. So I'm just like, what are you doing? So I just did not like him just hooking it up with all these hookers, like not being
I mean,
confident.
you
I just
do
didn't like
you
it.
do like competency in movies.
Yes, and
You
I
do.
I am so used to seeing him be a very competent, like screw the rule book, but I play by the rules kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like these very competent cops who do the right thing but play by their own rules kind of
Well,
cops
that's very Dirty Harry.
who aren't going to allow themselves to get seduced on the job because the
No.
job is more important. And so I thought, okay, this prostitute's going to seduce him so she doesn't have to try to give him any answers and he's going to be like, get off of me. No. He's just like, okay. I'm just like, no. But he's like, seems like a devoted, good father. And then ultimately, the more he's going out at night to like investigate these cases and hooking up with these things, like one night he comes home, he's totally drunk, wasted, and his daughter like has to take care of him. And I'm just like, oh, you're really sloppy, Clint. I don't like it. So I did appreciate that like they made him a little bit flawed and to see him kind of be like a real human person that was like not this perfect kind of like thing.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that aspect and overall like it was a good movie. But yeah, I just was so used to seeing him be this very competent police officer and him just like
Well,
hooking
yeah.
up with all these hookers. Just like God damn it, Clint.
Well, it sounds like you appreciated watching the number one movie on your birthday, even if
Yes.
it was marginally annoying for you.
Yes, so it was a fun little experiment. So, I mean, I
Yeah.
might put it in my birthday month rotation, but it's definitely
Oh, you'd
saving,
watch it again then.
saving, saving Judgment Day for the day.
Oh, of
Just
course.
out of purposes of like, okay, I'm celebrating. This movie was a thing at the time that I was thing, so
Yeah.
I'm watching it for that.
Okay. There
But
you go.
yes, little
Tightrope.
little birthday experiment.
It's always nice. Always nice.
Yes.
Always nice to experiment on one's birthday. Not like that, unless it is
Unless
like
you're
that.
Clint Eastwood.
Unless you're Clint Eastwood, apparently, yes.
Yeah.
Or some people, you might want to experiment on your birthday. I'm not here to judge people. You do whatever you want.
Except when they
Not
make
specifically,
duck-like sounds. He'll
well, not
happily
specifically
judge them.
you. Well, yeah, if you're making duck-like sound, you don't need to be doing none of that. I'm just talking to people in general. Experiment on your
Okay.
birthday if you want to. I'm not here. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. Where's
Yeah,
my
I don't
mind
think you
going,
do.
Jeannine? I don't know
Always
where my
to some
mind's going.
interesting places.
It does. It does. Blame me for all of the nonsense in the world.
Yes.
I think it is time now for some fun and games.
Yes.
Well, fun and games today. We have we have a description game.
Mhm.
It's been a little while since we've done a description game, I think.
Yes.
I think we each have 3 descriptions of characters. I have it related to... Well, I don't have it related to birthdays, but each character's birthday is actually mentioned in this description. But it's basically guess the character from the description.
Okay. Mine are guess the character from the description, and each one of these movies, the character does celebrate their birthday in the movie.
Ah, see,
Yes.
we've connected it to birthdays in some way,
Yes.
and this is fun. This is good. This is what we want. Do you know what? There's not that many like direct birthday movies. You know, when you think of like
Yeah, there's not.
Christmas movies and other holiday movies and things like that, there's not too many. I know we haven't talked about 16 Candles even, which is probably the most famous
I know.
birthday movie. But there's a reason we haven't talked about 16 Candles. It's because it's a weird movie. It's a problematic movie, in many,
Yes.
many ways.
Kind of.
It's got racism in there. It's got really creepy,
Cringy.
yeah,
Yes.
cringy, just
watch the scene
weird,
where Jake
horrible
Ryan is
movie.
waiting outside of the church at the cake. That's all you need to see.
Yeah.
That's all you need to see.
Yeah, the end.
But I mean,
the
we've
end.
recently even gotten Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day is a great movie. Yeah,
it's really fun. Really fun.
But there's not like too many about like celebrating birthdays, which is strange, really. I think there's things about getting older and things like that. I think not that I've actually seen the movie, which is probably a shame, and I probably should watch the movie. But Logan's Run, you know, the 70s sci-fi movie. I think that's about turning 30, and you know, I think it's something like you can choose to die and be reborn when you're 30, or go on a run, or something like that. It's something like that. Probably should watch Logan's Run, to be fair.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
But I know that's about kind of turning 30. But description games.
Yes.
We've got 3 each. Would you like to go first, Jeannine, or would you like me to go first, seeing as it's your birthday?
Well, no, I always like to go first. Get it out of the way.
You do like to answer first. Okay, so it's guess the character. I am speaking from the character's point of view. Okay? I'm not going to do impressions of the characters, because that might either come off as really weird or inaccurate, or just confuse you, or also be really obvious. All I want for my birthday is a beer and a donut. I'll promise not to cause any trouble, but only if my wife's twin sisters aren't invited to the party. I'd rather have my neighbour there, and he really annoys me. My birthday's May the 12th, by the way. Who am I?
Pretty sure that's Homer Simpson.
That is indeed Homer Simpson. I didn't know Homer Simpson's birthday was May the 12th. Apparently it's May the 12th. That is Homer Simpson.
All right. Okay. I reluctantly celebrated my birthday with my boyfriend's family and realized red just wasn't my color. The days that followed were difficult, but the pet dog I made things better. Who am I?
Pet dog. Pet dog I made. Red isn't my color. Pet dog I made. Oh my god, why am I so bad? Why am I so bad at the game? Celebrating my birthday with my boyfriend's family, reluctantly. Red wasn't my color. And I made a pet dog. Made a pet dog?
No, the pet dog I got made things better.
Oh, the pet dog I got. The pet dog I got made things better. It's a pet dog for the birthday. Oh, it's are you Elle Woods?
No.
Oh, doesn't that reluctantly? Oh no, that's a boyfriend. Oh no, that's the. Oh, I got it wrong.
You did.
She has a pet dog. I don't know. That's my guess.
It is Bella Swan.
Bella, well, pet dog, stupid pet dog. No, for God's
Yes.
sake.
Yeah, she goes, reluctantly celebrates her birthday with Edward's family. She cuts herself, bleeds everywhere. Jasper
Yes,
goes
yes, yeah. You're
crazy.
very clever with
The
your
next few
riddle.
days are difficult when Edward leaves, but her pet dog, Jacob, makes everything a little bit better.
You're very clever, aren't you, with your riddles, Jeannine?
I try.
Ah, Bella Swins. Yes, good. I like that. Okay. Number 2. Even though I won't be born until 2233, I can tell you that all I would like for my birthday is the safety of my crew. I'm not even sure my right-hand man knows how to celebrate a birthday anyway. We could go and find one of those pleasure retreat planets, I suppose. I think I'd like that. Who am I? Oh,
What? So is this a movie that takes place in the future? It's a sci-fi movie.
oh.
Ooh.
Homer Simpson was gotten pretty straight away.
Yeah. I mean, beer and donuts is pretty a
Beer
dead
and Donuts is
giveaway.
pretty typical Homer Simpson, yes.
22, 23.
2233.
Oh, 22, 33. Not like that helps.
I will not be born until 2233.
What in the futuristic ass movie is this?
Oh, I'm surprised.
Yes, you stumped me. Don't say things like that like it's so easy.
I didn't say it was easy. I'm just surprised.
You're surprised. Why are you surprised?
I just am.
Okay, can you read it again, please?
Yes, even though I won't be born until 2233, I can tell you that all I would like for my birthday is the safety of my crew. I'm not even sure my right-hand man knows how to celebrate a birthday anyway. We could go and find one of those pleasure retreat planets, though. I think I'd like that. Oh.
Stop.
I'm sorry, I'm just making noises.
Yes.
Dead air, so I'm making noises, that's all.
No, nothing. Okay, yeah, I don't know.
Really?
I
No,
don't
no
know.
guess?
No, I don't know. Star-Lord. I don't know.
I'm James T. Kirk.
Oh,
He's
okay.
right behind my shoulder. He's there.
Ah, okay.
There he is. Think about it. All I want is the safety of my crew. My right-hand man probably doesn't know how to celebrate a birthday anyway.
Yes.
There's
Well, because
no way
I mean,
Spock knows
think
how to
like the
celebrate
right-hand man
birthdays.
was like a robot or something.
Well, it's Spock.
Yes.
I mean, he's not exactly not
Yeah.
robotic at
No,
times,
that's a
is
good
he?
one. That's a good
Could go
one.
and find a pleasure retreat planet. He likes
Yes.
those.
That's true. That is very true.
Yes. Yes. Okay. It is still 1-0, 1-0, 1-0
Yes.
to Jeannine in the game.
Okay. All I want to do for my birthday is hang out with a cute boy. But instead, I have to go take a nap. Who am I?
Go take a nap. Someone's forced to sleep on the. Oh, ow. I'm Princess Aurora.
Yes.
Yes. I am Sleeping Beauty. Yes. Success.
Yes.
I have to go take a nap. Pretty long ass nap, Aurora.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
Stupid Maleficent getting in the way of
Yes.
romantic problems. Not problems, romantic situations. Yes,
Yes.
okay. Oh, I've tied the game.
No.
And the third and final one for Jeannine. Socks and sherbet lemons. That's what I would love for my birthday. That or one of those nice beard combs to help take care of this thing. You might think I'm a secretive old wizard, but I'm really just looking out for the good of everyone. You have to do that when you're in charge of a place like this.
I'm pretty sure you're talking about Albus Dumbledore.
That is indeed Albus Dumbledore, yes, who's also just above my shoulder over there. There he is.
I see him. His little hat.
That is Albus Dumbledore.
Yay.
Yes, okay. Can Morgan actually tie the game?
Perhaps.
Can he not lose for once in the game?
Maybe. I die on the day I came into the world, bringing true intentions to light. My family bond unravels like a cheap sweater, making way for my dear friend to move on up Chuck.
Up? What? Up Chuck? What the hell's that? I die on the day I was born. I die on the day I was born. This isn't Baelon Targaryen from House of the Dragon by any chance, is it? No. That was a horrible joke.
Yes,
that's not a funny joke at all. It's very cruel. I die on the day I was born. Read it again.
I die on the day I came into the world, bringing true intentions to light. My family bond unravels like a cheap sweater, making way for my dear friend to move on up Chuck.
I feel like this up Chuck part is just key, and I've got no idea what it means.
I think I'm just banking on your knowledge of American terminology.
Oh, this is an American thing, for God's sake.
Well, I figure it's common enough that you would know it.
I have no idea what that means at all.
Really?
I've got absolutely no idea what up Chuck means.
Oh wow, okay.
What does up Chuck mean? Can you tell me what up Chuck means, and then I might have an actual chance of getting it?
Well, it's a play on words, essentially. Because like moving on up and then up Chuck.
Moving on up.
I don't know. If I tell you, it's really going to give it away.
Unravels like a sweater. Family bond unravels like a sweater. Oh. Whose sweater unravels? Or am I thinking too literally? Do you know what? I do not know at all. I died on the day I came into the world. I really don't know. I imagine this is another very cleverly thought out riddle, Jeannine.
Somebody who died on their birthday.
Oh, so it's not maybe on their actual birthday. It died on their birthday. Yeah. No. Is it her from Happy Death Day?
No.
I really don't know.
Okay. Well, if I tell you what upchuck means, do you want to just know what upchuck means?
Yes, please.
Okay. Upchuck means to throw up.
To the what?
Throw up. To
throw up. To throw up. I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetting things. I don't know.
Yeah, you might be forgetting things.
What is it?
It is Walter Thromby from Knives Out.
Oh, for God's sake. That's so... Yes, okay.
He died on his birthday.
He did.
The family bond. The family bond was a play on the family, but also James Bond, because
oh, for God's
Daniel Craig
sake.
Unravels like a cheap sweater. The sweater is iconic.
It's really you have the riddle capacity of a cryptic crossword, don't you?
No.
And I have the riddle capacity of a quick crossword.
I'm giving you more credit than I guess you deserve.
I think you are. I really think you are. And also, there's no way I remembered his name.
But I mean, you would. I would have assumed you would have said Christopher Plummer from Knives Out, and I would have accepted that.
Okay. Fair enough, yes, okay.
Because, like, if you had said her from Happy Death Day, then I would have been like, yes, I would have said, because I know I don't expect you to remember her name.
The one from Happy Death Day.
Because the first time you watched it was us doing it on a show, so I don't
Yeah.
expect you to remember that.
Okay,
But
fair enough.
yes.
Christopher Plummer from Knives Out. Okay. Well done, Jeannine. You've won again. What a surprise. It definitely has to be quick fire trivia for me to win, doesn't it? This is the thing. Quick fire trivia and I will win. Anything that requires some sort of real deep knowledge, you will win.
Hey, those were gettable. You just were overthinking.
I always overthink. Well, stupidness, Jeannine. Stupidness. Anyway, have we come to the end of another episode of Monday Madness? Well, Jeannine's got her little birthday tiara on now. Jeannine can go off and celebrate the rest of her birthday in style, clearly, can't she? Fun show today of Monday Madness, birthday related, whole bunch of nonsense in the WhatsApp. It's always great time here on Monday Madness, isn't it, Jeannine?
It is.
Full of craziness, as always, but it is not the only show you can find on this podcast feed, and it's not the only thing you can find on this YouTube channel either if you are watching, is it, Jeannine?
It is not. You can also check out Morgan Hasn't Seen every Wednesday, where I force you to watch things you haven't seen, and we discuss, and it's always a fun time. We talked teen thrillers all of this month. Because, yes, they came from my era film, the late 90s, early 2000s. So we had a fun time this week talking about The Skulls.
Yes, that is coming this week. Yes.
From the year 2000 with my heart, Joshua Jackson.
Jeannine's number one.
Yes. So, yeah, we talk about those skulls. And every Friday we have the main show. It's a wonderful podcast where we give love to classic films.
We certainly do. Always a fun time there as well. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We have you covered on the It's a Wonderful podcast feed on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Amazon Music, everywhere else, of course. But on the YouTube channel, if you are watching Monday Madness in its full video glory, you can also find watch-alongs here, live discussions here, other fun videos, a couple of reviews, movie collection videos, that kind of stuff on this YouTube channel as well. Subscribe, ding your notification bells over here. Stuff has been scrolling across the bottom of the screen if you are watching as well, including our Patreon. If you would like to support us that way, there is a link in the description. We can't do any of this without the support of our patrons. They are wonderful, wonderful people. And if you would like to join them, just go to patreon.com/itsawonderful1 and find the tier that is right for you. We also have a donation link in the description as well if you would like to support us that way. You can find the show on Twitter at It's a Wonderful One. Find me on Twitter at the Purple Don with a 3 instead of the E in there because, Jeannine,
3 is the magic number.
All your birthday related stuff is where?
You can find me at Jeannine Devine _ on Twitter, Jeannine Devine on Instagram and TikTok. If you want to get any merch for any of our shows, you can find that at our Teespring shop. The link is also going by It's a Wonderful Podcast on teespring.com. We have some really fun designs, all the logos for our shows, plus some fun Stranger Things designs. So please check that out there if you want merch. And also, I have my own art. So if you want to purchase any of my art in print form to celebrate my birthday, you can find that at my Big Cartel shop, g9design.bigcartel.com.
Yes, I think a new She-Hulk design has been has it been put up?
Yes.
Good. Well, there we go. Okay. Well, I don't even know if I have to ask you for an impression today because I feel that feels harsh on your birthday.
Yeah,
so maybe I'll just sing
I'm going to
Happy
ask
Birthday.
you. I want to make you do an impression.
Oh God, not an impression. I'll sing Happy Birthday again.
Give me your best Albus Dumbledore.
My best Albus Dumbledore. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, dear. It'll turn into Gandalf.
It does. It always does.
It'll always turn into Gandalf. It just does turn into Gandalf.
But what are you going for, Harris or Gambon? Which one
I
turns
don't
into
know.
which one is the one that turns into Gandalf?
Everything just naturally goes to Gandalf. Old Wizard just comes across as Gandalf to me. So
I also love that I do a pretty good Magneto and you do a good Gandalf. One day we need to just meet Ian McKellen and just bombard him with her impressions.
I feel like he'd be really disturbed if we
bit,
just did that.
Bit.
I really do. Anyway, happy birthday, Jeannine.
Thanks.
Go forth and celebrate the rest of your day. And I suppose I'll try and do an Albus Dumbledore by just speaking softly like Richard Harris, I guess, and just going 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday, Harry. Bye.